look at loops in Python. Loops in Python, or loops in all loops here, loops as loops. Loops, they are just programs that help us, we developers, to iterate through certain programs, okay, or to iterate through a certain or range of numbers or lists or what. Yeah, they help us. They help just in iteration of a piece of code. If you want that piece of code to repeat a certain number, or if you want to get all the values that lie in a certain range, okay, or group, okay. So let us take a look at how we can use loops. We have two different types of loops. We have the while loops. So let us first take a look at the while loops. The while loop. So a while loop in Python repeatedly executes a block of code as long as a specified condition is true. It first checks the condition. If true, the code inside runs. After each iteration, the condition is rechecked. I think you are getting me. And the loop continues until the code becomes false. Okay. So, for example, we are going to see how we are going to see using this example. So let us see. So this is the structure of the while loop. So we type while, then for example, we can keep counting up as long as the count is below a certain number. And it's useful for scenarios where you don't know in advance how many iterations are needed. For example, so let us take a look at, we have a variable here, count, which is equals to 0. So we can say this is the structure while and even the condition. Then you write the condition while, then the condition. So let us use this variable count is less than. So that count, it is less than 5. Here we set it to 0. So we are saying that it is less than 5. So it is 0, 1, 2, 3 up to 4. Okay, remember 5 is not inclusive. So then we will break like that, then we enter the loop. So while count is less than 5. So let us print count is and even our count. So our count there, then we put F there so that we can put our count inside the string like that. So after doing that, then we want to increment the count. Remember, when we set our count to 0, so when we print count, 0 is going to be first printed out. So if we want to change, remember we said the condition that count is less than 5, so it can be 0, 1, 2, 3. So we have to control it. We have to adjust the count. Okay, remember the while loop, it repeats. Okay, it iterates. So each iteration we want to increment the count. So to do that, we use count plus or equals to what? To 1. That is it. This one, maybe you are confused. This one, the other one, this one, it is the same as saying count. Then we the previous count, which is 0. So it is the previous. Remember, we are going on the next iteration. So which is 0. Then we want to add it. We want to add a 1. So when we set this one, when we write this code, it means that this very iteration that we are in here, it is going to set the previous count. It's going to add 1 to the previous count. Okay, so that is it. So we do like that. So after completing the condition, after setting the condition to false, after completing the iterations, we need to print something. So let us print. We have exited the loop. Okay, like that. We have exited the loop. Then we press Ctrl and S to save. So let us run our program and see. So remember, when I say dir to print all the items in this folder, so this is my file net.py. So we run py net.py like that. So I think we are running count is 0. This is the first iteration. When count is 0, then we increment it. So we set it to, we add a 1 to become 2, to become 1. Then we add another 1 to this one to become 2. Then on 2 we add another 1 to become 3. Then on 3 we add another 1 to become a 4. Okay. Then after that, after all the loop, after the loop has exited, then our print function runs this one. So this one runs this one. Okay, so that's it. Yeah, we can use the while loops in many different cases. For example, if the user, for example, we have here some sort of let me first delete this one. So for example, we can have the name, which is equals to what? Which is equals to input. We can ask a user to enter the name. Yeah, so enter the name like that. Yeah, so after there we want to print our name like that. Yeah, so control save. So if we run our program, I think enter the name, we enter Rashid like that. So I think Rashid. But what if we don't enter any letter? Okay, we just, okay, so enter the name, just press enter. I think we are printing out an empty name without any length. So how can we control that? We can control that using a while loop. So this is what we can do. So let me delete this one. We can set the name to be this one, to be an empty string, like that. Control Z. So we can use the while loop. While name dot length, the length of the name. If that length of the name is less than 1, so it is 0. Remember, it cannot be a negative. So if it is 0, then we want this loop to continue like this. So let us, so name equals, so we want it to run when, as long as the length of the name is less than 1. Okay, so enter the name. Okay, like that. Enter the name. Then we want to print. No, we don't print. So after there, after it has exited, remember it will not exit until the length of the name is greater than 1. It is greater than 0. Okay, so let us print when it has exited the name. So let us print the name. Okay, so let us open our here our terminal. Let us run our program. Enter the name Rashid. Bang, we have exited the loop and our name has been printed on the screen. So what if we don't enter any letter? So enter the name, just press enter, just press enter, just press. I think we cannot exit out of the loop until we enter any letter. So for example, we can enter R. Yeah, so this one sets the name, the length of the name to be greater than 0. So it is then printed out after exiting the loop. So that's how we can use the while loop. Yeah, okay, that's those are some of the use cases of the loops, the while loop. So let us take a look at for loops. So let us take a look at for loop. A for loop in Python is used to iterate over a sequence such as a list, tuple, or range. You know those ones. So executing a block of code for each item in a sequence. Okay, so unlike a while loop, which runs until a condition is false. Okay, a for loop runs a set number of times, based on the length of the sequence. So for example, it can go through a list of numbers, processing each one in turn. It's ideal for repetitive tasks like iterating over data corrections, like that. Okay, So let us take a look. For example, we might have some verb flutes here, flutes like this one. We can have some flutes here like apple, apple. You know, I've never eaten apple. I've never taken apples. Yeah, I'm lying. So let us take a look at bananas. We have bananas, and then we have some cherry. Where sherry. Okay, we have sherry, and then let us see. So we can iterate through and print all these fruits one by one using a for loop. Okay, so let us take a look at at the for loop structure. So it is the same as the while loop. Yeah, so here we type for, and then the variable that we want this fruit to be stored in during that first iteration. Yeah? Okay, so here we can name it as a flute. Okay, remember that flute, it is in a list, it is in that list of all the flutes. Okay, so for flute in our flutes, okay, so for every flute in our flute, what do we want to do with that flute? We want to print the flute is and our flute, like that. Yeah, like that. So we want to print for every flute, we want to print it out. Yeah, okay, so the flute is that one. So after that, we want to show that we have exited out of the loops. So let us print loop ended, like that. So control save, then we run our program to see what is going to be printed out. Okay, so when we run, are you seeing we are getting the flute is apple, the first flute, then we go on banana, the second one, then we go on cherry, then after this program, this print function runs. Yeah, okay, this one, okay, loop ended, okay, that one. Okay, so we have looked at how we can use we have looked at the structure of a for loop. Yeah, so in a for loop, yeah, we have in loops, we have some control statements, that control the loop. Yeah, you know, the loop control statements in Python, yeah, which they and those, they allow you to alter the flow of the loop's execution. Yeah? And the first one, it is the break, and another one, it is the continue. So let us see how we can use the break here statement. Yeah, the break loop control. Yeah? Loop control statement. Yeah. So, but before we do that, yeah, what is that break? What is the meaning of that break? So this statement immediately exits the loop. Yeah, that one, the break, it immediately exits the loop. Yeah, regardless of whether the loop's condition is still true. Yeah, and it is useful for stopping a loop when a specific condition, yeah, is met, like when searching for an item in a list and finding it before the loop has iterated through the entire list. Okay, so for example, let us take a look. So we have, let us delete this one and we take a look. So okay, so let us take a look for I, that value, in range, yeah? You know the range, yeah? Range of numbers, yeah? Range, yeah? So we have the 10, range of 10. Okay, I think that one makes a sense. Yeah? So if we want, remember, we want to iterate through to print all the numbers in range of 10. Yeah, okay, so and we want to exit out of the loop, yeah, when I equals like 5. So if for example, let us just print. So let us print I. Okay, let us print I. Yeah? Okay, but no, let us don't print I. Okay, let us do like this. Yeah? So if I equals to what? To 5. If I equals to 5, yeah? So what do we want to do? we want to break. So if equals to 5, let us break out of that loop. Yeah. Then let us print current number. Current number. It is what? Current number is that I. Okay. Current number is that I. Okay. So let us so loop ended. So this one will run when the loop has ended. Yeah? Okay. So let us take a look. So let us control and save, Control S to save. Then let us run our program. Bang! I see we have exited the loop when when I equals to 5. Okay. So that 5 is not printed. Yeah, it is printed. Yeah, it is not printed. Take it like that. It is not printed. Yeah, remember a computer starts counting from 0. So but let us first take a look at when we don't put this break statement. So let us take a look. I want to explain to you something. So let us run. I see when we run our program, I see range 10 is not inclusive. I see 10 is not inclusive, but it is like magically inclusive, because when in real world, when we start counting from 1. Okay, and if we try to count all the numbers that we have printed on the screen. They are 10, but the computer starts counting from 0. But which means for it will not reach at what? At 10. It will not reach at 10. It will end at 9. But the numbers, the numbers, the total of all those numbers, they are 10 in total. Okay, not some. In total, they are 10. But because it starts counting from 0, the range, when we use the range, it will not include 10. Okay. You should note that when using the range. Yeah. Okay, I think you have got me. Yeah? So let us take a look at how we can use the continue. The continue statement. So the continue, this statement skips the rest of the current loop iteration and proceeds to the next iteration. Yeah. So it is helpful for bypassing certain parts of the loop based on a condition, like skipping even numbers in a loop that processes a range of numbers. Yeah? Okay, so let us take a look at some example here. So for example, let me lead from here up to there. So let us take a look. So we have a range of 10 numbers. So we want to print out some numbers. So let us see. We want to print some numbers only. Yeah? So if when we are, let us see this operator, modulus operator. So this one returns the remainder. So if that number, when divided by 2, it gives us a 0 as a remainder, we want to continue. If it gives us 0 as a remainder, we want to continue. Okay, so after that, remember, if a number divided by 0 will be divided by 2 gives a 0, it means that that number, it is an even number. Okay, it is an even number. But if it gives us a remainder, it is an odd number. Okay, so let us take a look. So if that even number, if the number we are on, yeah, the I, it is an even number, we want to skip that one. So we want to print out odd numbers. Yeah? So let us print odd number is this one. So our odd number, it will be I, that number which we have not skipped. Okay, so let us control and save. and run our program again. So I think we are getting only odd numbers. So we are getting odd number is 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. Okay, but I want you to take a look at something here. What's happening to my mouse? What's happening to it? Okay, let me just run the program again. Okay, so remember that 0 is not printed out. Okay, 0, it is not, although it is inclusive. Remember, 0 is not an even number. It is not. Okay, and also it is not an odd number. Why? Because when you get 0 and you divide it by 2, what will you get? You will get a 0. So it is not. But here, so that's why here we are not printing it out. Okay, it is not an odd number. It does not give us a remainder. Okay, that is the sense. It doesn't give us a remainder. Okay, so that is it. Yeah, so we have even the range function in Python, which is commonly used in for loops to iterate over a sequence of numbers. So we have seen it. Okay, we have seen all that what we need. Okay, so that's it. Thank you.